Hey, welcome to the channel. So I'm doing a video today just basically talking through my kind of experiences up till now and the journey that I'm on spiritually and what's led me to get here. What even is a spiritual journey? Because people talk about spiritual journey and it's very vague if you're looking in from the outside. So I wanted just to talk about my experiences and give you a bit of a run through of my life up till now, very briefly. Don't worry, I won't bore you for too long. But essentially, I was super lucky. I came into meditation when I was about 6 years old. I joined a Kung Fu club and my dad took me to this Kung Fu club, and the guy that ran the Kung Fu club was also a meditation teacher. And he basically, long story short, but he started tutoring me in meditation. He was a super inspiring person and I was inspired by him at least. And he was the sort of person that you look at and you think, I want to be like that. There's something about him that's really drawing me in. And so he just started tutoring me. This probably progressed from when I was 6 up till when I was about maybe 11, 12. And at that point is when I got his email and we would meet up at the weekends because he was good friends with my dad. So my dad would go around and visit him. I would go with my dad and we would talk about all things spiritual, all things related to meditation. He would instigate them because that's just how he was. He knew that I was ready somehow. He knew that at that age I was ready to accept what the things that he was going to talk about and tell me. And he started tutoring me and he'd give me a technique. He'd teach me a technique and then he'd say, right, I want you to keep doing this now and let me know through email how you're finding it. And maybe in a month or two's time I'd say, yeah, I've had enough of it, or it's hard, or this is a problem, or that's a problem, or this is going well. And he would just guide me. He would just say, okay, it's time to change, and he'd give me another method to do. And sometimes I would use a meditation method for 2 years. Sometimes it would be a month or two, and he would just adjust things as needed. And this progressed up until, this was on a very casual basis up until I was about 16. And then I got into booze, girls, smoking, drinking, like all sort of teenage boys do. And I lost track totally and pushed all of the meditation and spiritual practices to one side. And I got totally wrapped up in this world of just drinking, partying, fighting, all of that bad stuff. And that probably occupied a lot of my time between the ages of 16 and 20. And then from 20 onwards, probably 2021 onwards, I started to get my act together. I started to get into exercise. I started to get myself fit again. I joined a triathlon club. I started doing triathlons when I was like 23, 24. I did my first Ironman and I ended up racing for Great Britain's age group team in triathlon and duathlon. I was doing double marathons, ultra marathons, long distance swims, special forces selection, pretend kind of races that the ex-special forces set up to cause unimaginable amount of suffering to civvies. But yeah, that occupied a lot of my time. I'd lost track of the meditation and the spiritual practices, but then when I got to like 2021, 2021 as in age 20 to 21, not year 2021. When I got to that point, I decided then to do all this exercise and get my acting gear, and I did everything that I could ever have imagined in that time, pushed myself to the absolute limit physically, and eventually got an injury and couldn't do it anymore. An injury that put me out for like 6 months, and I lost track really with the whole racing thing. And I'd been meditating through that time as well. And then I basically just immersed myself heavily into the spiritual aspect. I went through a little bit of a breakup with someone as well. And that all kind of instigated this big internal shift. And I really went into the spiritual and the meditation again from that point onwards. And that has been the case for the last 5 years up till now, where I'm 30 in a couple of days' time. And I'm fully immersed in meditating every day for anywhere between half an hour and an hour, communicating in my mind with my internal source, my inner intuition or inner guide or whatever you want to call it, God or whoever. But I'm really, really immersed in this way of life, if you want to call it that without getting too weird. But it's been so amazing, and the internal shift in me has been so significant, and so the way I feel internally when I'm in this place and when I'm immersed spiritually is there's no doubt in my mind that I'm on the right track when I'm doing that. I'm absolutely certain that it's the correct thing for me, the correct path for me. and what I should be doing. I just know it internally. There's no, oh, I'm going to try this thing, but I'm not sure if it's going to work. There's none of that. I know for certain that I'm doing the right thing because I can just feel it. And I've really want to share my own journey in the hope that it inspires some of you guys, or any of you who might watch this that might think, yeah, that somehow has inspired me to start. That's really what these videos are about. It's to show you my journey in the hope that it will inspire you to either continue with yours or to start yours, or to, look into this more spiritual way of life. Because I think often you see people doing these videos who are, head to toe in a robe with a big old beard, and they're not really relatable to everyday people. And I'm hoping that I come across and I am more relatable, because I'm a 29-year-old guy, nearly 30, but we'll stick with 29. I'm a 29-year-old guy, and I've done the normal boozing, drinking, girls, partying scene, but I've also been very fortunate that I've had a very large portion of my life which has been surrounded by meditation and spirituality and all of the good stuff that comes with that. And I've now at a point where I've integrated that stuff very heavily into my life, and I'm reaping the rewards, and I'm looking to share what I've learned and my take on this approach to anyone that's willing to listen, anyone else that's interested. So that's the kind of place where this video is coming from. It's coming from a place of wanting to share what I've learned and my own path. So yeah, I meditate every single day. I do lots of internal work. It's not the sort of work that quite often you see. Nowadays it's all about, a lot of people I think get very wrapped up in crystals and chakras and all of the kind of peripheral little routes that you can get trapped in, or you can get drawn down. Whereas my route is all about, and I'm not saying that that's wrong, I'm just saying that for me it feels a bit time consuming and a bit not progressing, because ultimately there is a goal with spirituality. And I think a lot of people forget that there is a goal. They just think, oh, spirituality, this is really fun, let's learn about chakras, let's learn about crystals. And yeah, that curiosity might lead them to wanting to know the deeper meanings, and hopefully it does. But I sort of take the approach of spirituality for me is about trying to understand who I am on the very deepest level. And I know it intellectually. I know that on the very deepest level, we are all one. Our innermost nature is divine, is the supreme self, is whatever you want to call it. But we're living through this finite mind and experiencing life with 5 senses, and everything looks very separate. And the whole spiritual journey is really to start to move beyond that and expand your consciousness to the point where there is no longer this sense of duality. There's no longer this sense of me and another person, or me and another object. Everything is just part of me. Everything is one and part of you, and you are one, and you have the divine self within you as well. So this isn't just me saying, oh, I'm special and I've got this thing. That's not what I'm trying to get across. Hopefully it doesn't come across like that. I'm saying that all of us are exactly the same, and the goal for every single person is exactly the same, and we're all working towards that goal. We're all at different stages, of course. But my work now is primarily internal, although I do focus a lot on keeping my physical self in good condition, because I think that's super important on the path, and I'll talk about that. I'm going to do another video on controlling the senses and maintaining yourself physically to develop spiritually, because they don't from the outside, they don't necessarily seem like they work together, but they are very important. I've come to learn that they're very important. So I know this is quite a brief run through, and hopefully it gives you a bit of an insight into my background and where I'm at now and what I'm hoping to get across with these videos. So if any of you have any questions, feel free to email me, feel free to drop a comment or ask me anything in the comments. Really, don't be shy. If you've got any questions related to meditation, spirituality, your journey, self-development, all of that good stuff, pop me a message and I'll do my best to get back to you. I'll do my best to, I will get back to you. But please like and subscribe to this channel, because I want to keep promoting all of this stuff and putting more videos out there to hopefully inspire people. If not, then I've got a load of videos out there, and maybe in the future someone will stumble across them and like them. But the more people that like and subscribe and comment helps to grow the channel, so I won't labour the point, but if you do get the chance, please hit that button, and I'll see you next time. Thanks so much.